If you love college football, this is the place to be. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, breaking down recruiting classes across the nation as we get just inside the 2-week mark to the second National Signing Day. We've got Kevin McGuffey on the line from Last Word on College Football to break down Kentucky football coming off a 10-win, top 10 season. Is that still sinking in, Kevin?
It really is. It's been what three weeks since the Citrus Bowl, and there's still everybody's basking in the aura of the 10-win season, the Citrus Bowl victory, and it even knocked for a few days. I think even stopped people talking about basketball. So, but now that the basketball cats have picked it up, things have swayed back towards basketball, which is what happens more times than not. But yes, it's still. It's still like, not pinch yourself, but it's like, wow, Kentucky really, they really did that this year. They won 10 games. They won the Citrus Bowl. They beat Penn State. I mean, it's definitely, first time in 41 years winning 10 games. So it's, I think that would make me 6, I believe, the last time that happened. So showing my age a little bit, but still.
I enjoyed the status of being able to tell people I told you so. So ever since the Florida game that I think pushed you to 3-0, I had Kentucky in the top 10 the whole season. Right.
And, yeah, no, I know. You were right there. You always have your top 25, that makes sense. And, Kentucky was always there. And I'm like, I'm showing people, I'm like, look, you're, 25, they're he has them ranked. He knows what's going on. But, the pollsters, as you all know, it takes, they kind of, gravitate towards the name schools, and then then everybody else. You kind of got to work your way. It's kind of a show me kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. They gravitate toward the name schools, the brands, and they also gravitate towards scores. So those 14-7 wins over Vandy and 15-14 over Missouri weren't impressing anyone. But as long as you were beating the teams, and I rate the performance too, but first and foremost is the result of the game. And when you're going to Florida and winning, then coming back home and beating South Carolina and Mississippi State, and then going to Texas A&M and taking them to overtime after they just took Clemson to the last play of the game, I'm like, why isn't this team ranked in the top 10? So anyway.
You're exactly right. I think they beat, 5 teams was ranked in the top 25 this year, and I think 7 teams that played in bowl games. So
absolutely.
It's like I said, it's it was an incredible season. Now, of course, what's next? Now you got to try to not fall back to like a 500 season this year. But I think they have the players that's not going to happen this year.
All right, Kevin. So to keep it up, of course, is going to be recruiting, and that's always difficult in the SEC. So Mark Stoops continues to do a solid job, if not a better than solid job, considering what Kentucky recruiting was like before he arrived, and we talked about that. So the improvement has been significant. But if you put it in the context of the vaunted SEC, it's ranked right now 12th for the 2019 recruiting class, 12th in the SEC, according to 247 Sports, number 32 in the nation. Most of the classes there and already signed, 21 signees, 3 hard commits. But there's still a few guys out there that could make it an even better class.
Oh yeah, you're exactly right. And they have, Kentucky's having what they call their Junior Day, 2019 Junior Day, tomorrow, and just happens to coincide with the the Kentucky-Kansas basketball game tomorrow night. So the ESPN Game Day crew is going to be there, and Rep will be electric. So what better way to show off your fan base to a group of prospective players than by coming in, and showing them Rep Arena. They take them over. I still call it Commonwealth. They take them over to Kroger Field. They have like these videos. I think they make these videos with each player. And number like now playing. Number 72. Whatever the guy's name is. But one guy in particular who's visiting tomorrow would be a huge pickup for the Cats. His name is Devontae Lee. He's a wide receiver out of Louisiana, and he's a teammate of Amani Gilmore, who played obviously Amite, Louisiana, I think is the name of the town. He was a quarterback. He's one of 2 quarterbacks that Kentucky assigned for 2019, and because right now, if you look at it, Terry Wilson is the man. He's, he won 10 games in his, in his first season in Lexington. He's pretty much entrenched as a starter. There's some, we've talked about this before. There's been some question, Gunnar Hope's the backup. There's some question, is he going to stay? He'll graduate in May. Personally, I think he should stay just because, one injury and boom, you're the, not something unforeseen happens. You're the quarterback. But like I said, Devontae Lee out of Louisiana, he's a 4-star player. He's the kind of guy that could come in like immediately and just maybe start day one. Cat fans and the coaching staff, imagine, him lining up on one side, Lynn Bowden lining up on the other. That's two, really good, a good as tandem possibly, in the SEC. So he's one guy to keep an eye out for. They've got several, cornerbacks, a couple cornerbacks from Georgia that are coming in. They have to replace pretty much the entire secondary. So, those are a couple, one position they're really, they signed a couple guys early, but they have more guys coming in tomorrow. So it'd be very interesting to see what happens. Like I said, this junior day, I think this is maybe the third or fourth year they've done this, and it's been very successful. So, like I said, Lee is probably the big guy. He's considered an LSU lean, but the word is that the Tigers are looking at him more on defense, and Kentucky's, of course, hey, sign with us, you can come in and maybe start from day one. So, but yeah, that's one of the biggest, things. I've got a column, we'll call it a column, whatever, going up last word on college football, probably tonight, tomorrow, basically like kind of outlining, 4 things for, to watch for Kentucky football before spring practice starts. And that's one of them is the quarterback situation. One of them is recruiting, and then another one we'll probably talk about, the coaching staff. Kentucky's been able to keep everybody intact so far. But yeah, like I said, Lee would be just honestly one of Mark Stoops' biggest pickups since he's been at Kentucky.
Kevin McGuffey joining us to talk Kentucky football. As Kevin mentions, you can join him and the rest of the crew there at Last Word on College Football. Certainly, I can't think of another site that has been better to MarkRogersTV than Last Word on College Football with Kevin and Tony Siracusa, Mike Laval, and everyone else there at the site. So check them out for college football coverage right there.